Hi Stitchers, my name is Laurel, and I thought this looked like fun. I saw it on Cross Stitch and Discuss too, so I thought I would try it. This is my third time doing this. Yeah, YouTube has not been cooperating with me, so we'll see if this works this time. So, I started stitching when I was about 12, and I had been doing the stamped ones, and I had heard about Counted, and I thought it looked like fun, or I thought it sounded like fun. So I remember going to the fabric store, and I bought a beginner's book, and I bought some Aida, and I did, the first little design I did out of the book was a little carousel horse. I love carousel horses, and I did a couple more. My brother even did one of the designs. I think he did the clown or something. And so I've been stitching ever since then. I've been spending money on cross stitch ever since then. And then the internet came along, and now there's this like huge amount of selection, and these you can order from like anywhere in the world. And there's stitchers selling their private stash to declutter or whatever, and so yeah, I've spent a lot of money. I've done my share to support the internet economy. So, a few of my most recent finishes, I haven't really been stitching during 2014. I haven't finished anything in 2014. But a couple of my most recent finishes from last year and the year before. Let's see, this piece right here. This is my Big Toes. Be Not Forgetful. Make sure this is right side out. So there that is. This is hard to see. So there that is. The border is done in an over dye. I think it's the over dye that was used in the model. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it goes from like a light red to a dark burgundy, and I really liked it, and I'm really happy with how it came out. So there's that one. And then I've gotten into this kind of tradition where every fall I stitch a Santa. And so I think in 2011 I started this one and finished it in 2012. And this is one of those Bent Creek zipper kits. I love those kits. They're cute, and they're small, and they're easy, and they're not too expensive. So this is a Santa Globe kit, and he's all wintry and sparkly, and I just love him. I have several more of these. I think I have the penguin, and I have one of the bumblebee ones. I already did one of the bumblebee ones. They're just great little kits. And this next piece is my pride and joy of 2013. First of all, I bought it in 2002 or 3 or something, and it was on sale at Joann for like $18, and I got up to the register and it was like $7. So I got it for $7. And in 2004 or 5, I was between jobs. I was having a hard time finding a job, and I took this job search class where they talk to you about resumes and interviewing and different things like that, and I decided that my reward for finishing the class on Friday was going to be that I was going to start this project. And I started it, and I worked on it for 2 days and never picked it up again until 2011. And I picked it up in 2011, and I finished it in 2013. And it's this project here. This is Dimensions, Magic in Motion. And he's stitched on black, which works. I mean, it wouldn't be the same if you stitched him on any other color. He wouldn't work on any other color. He wouldn't pop on any other color. But it was challenging. I got used to it. I discovered that the fluorescent lighting at work is awesome for stitching on black. Also discovered, not with this project, but with a previous project, and if I had thought about it, I would have shown it to you, maybe next time. That work is a great place to stitch on stuff kind of boring, kind of daunting, anything that might uh, cause me to maybe put the project down and not pick it up again, take it to work, stitch on it 20-30 minutes a day at lunch. In a couple weeks it's done, and you can continue on with the rest of the project. So that's what happened on this piece with this, let's try to get this in, with this purple robe here, all of this purple where the stars are. I just found that kind of daunting, and it had caused me to put down the piece and not work on it for a while, because it was like, oh my gosh. But I took it to work, and in a few weeks it was done, and I was able to finish the project. I'm going to send him to Jill Rensel to frame, and if you are not familiar with Jill Rensel, I would highly recommend that you Google her and look at her blog, look at her work. She's amazing. Her art is amazing. Her assistant is amazing. And if you don't know who she is, Google Jill Rensel and find out who she is. I'm going to send this to her to frame. She's in Utah, and she's affiliated with Shepherd's Bush. Yeah, she's awesome. When I get some money, I'm going to send the wizard to her. I might send the Santa with him. So those are some of my most recent finishes. What I'm working on now, how I got back into stitching, was on the CW, on the Yuku stitching boards. A few years ago, we started this thing called TW October. In October, everybody pulls out their Teresa Winslow pieces, stitches their Teresa Winslow pieces. So this is mine. I'm a huge fan of Teresa Winslow. I got to meet her about 10 years ago, and she's a sweet lady, very classy, very gracious, very funny, and good sense of humor. And I actually ended up in a situation where I was in the hotel with her, and I just got to talk to her for an hour. It was just me and her, and I just got to talk to her and listen to her, and it was probably my favorite part of the trip. I had Teresa to myself for an hour. So this is my piece that I'm working on, is the close on grape ornament, and the gold box, the outside box, is stitched over. Put this in the middle where you can see it. The gold box is stitched over 2, and the inside is stitched over 1. I'm glad I learned to park and grid, because without those, I may never finish a Teresa Winslow piece. The confetti and the blends and the quarter stitches just put me off, and every time I think I should work on that, I think, but it takes so much focus and so much concentration, and I always end up choosing something easier to stitch. And but with gridding and parking, it makes it a lot less painful, and it's a lot more likely that I'm going to finish one of her pieces one of these days, another one after this one. So after that, what I'm hoping to finish is this one. This is just a little Jamlin kit that I bought from Facebook. It's an old kit, and it's a Santa ornament. It's called Work for Cookies. And the little sign that he's holding up here is going to say, "We'll work for cookies." And he's almost done. I just got to finish his little dots in his pants and the little area behind his beard here, and backstitch him, and he'll be done. I hope to finish him like the first week in November. So I stitch on a rotation, and I learned about rotations when I was back in 2002, 2001, when the Teresa Winslow bulletin board was really active on YouTube, and a bunch of the girls were doing it, and I struggled for a long time to come across the right rotation. And I finally figured it out that if I look at what I was doing naturally, I would have 3 pieces. One of them would be large, and 2 of them would be smaller, and I would have like 3 finishes in quick succession. And I was like, oh, well, that would make a good rotation. So I made that my rotation. I have 1 large piece, 2 smaller pieces, And the rule is one of them always has to be in sight of finishing. So if the large pieces is, you know, close to the end, that's fine. If not, then I'll have a smaller piece. If that's at the beginning, that's fine because it's small. I'll be able to finish it quickly. But I'm not trying to get in a situation where I got 3 large pieces all at the beginning because that's not going to work. And I have a work slot. I usually pick one of them to be my work project. I trade that out rather liberally. You know, if I get tired of it, I'll bring it home and I'll switch something else. If I get close to finishing it, I'll bring it home and finish it, put something else in the work slot. I have no qualms about doing that. So I decided that I was kind of bored with my previous rotation, which may have been part of the reason why I haven't been stitching in 2014. So I decided that I was going to clear all the slots and I was going to reselect all my pieces. I have like 40 whips to choose from, and most of them I stitched on them for a day or two and never picked them up again. I have a little bit of startitis, can you tell? I decided that the pieces I was going to work on for the end of this year, after I finish the Santa ornament in 2015, are another Teresa Winsler piece, this one here, Legends of the Dragons. Step out a little closer here so you can see. This was a collaboration between Teresa Winsler and Jennifer Aikman Smith of Dragon Dreams and Karen Weaver of Black Swan. They did it together. And back in the day, the Teresa Winsler board had a big stitch along. And not to be left out, I started it on the day that they were starting the stitch along. And this is how far I got on it. Not very far. I can't see. Yeah, so that's where I got. I worked on it one day probably. And so I decided to pull that out and finish that next year. I'm hoping to finish it next year. And then this other piece I originally intended to do for a friend, I think I'm going to keep it. She stitches. If she wants to do it, she can do it, but I think I'm going to keep this one. This is Janlin's Retrievers, and they're dogs, and they're cute, and I love them. So I'm going to do that. This is another one. You'll notice a theme here as you get to know me. I started it, and I worked on it for one day, and to tell you the truth, I don't know if this is the top or the bottom. I can't even tell. It looks sort of like a Chinese character, but I think this is part of the black dog's face, like around his nose maybe, or his, you know, part of his face. So that's going to be on my rotation for next year. And then we have a local designer here. I used to belong to EGA, and there's a local designer named Margaret Bendig. She teaches, I think she teaches for a lot of guilds. And she used to teach for our guild, you know, several times a year. And she taught this project at an event we had, and it's a little like a band for a scissor basket and a scissor fob. She gave us a little basket and a pair of scissors. And so I think this is going to be my work project. It's just a little band with a little, you know, little flower design on it. It's over one. When I was looking at it, I realized that they're half stitches. So that's how far oh no, over here. That's how far I got on it. This is hard to see. That's how far I got on it. So I think that'll be my work project. Because it's small and fluorescent lighting is good for over one. So that's where I am. And so I hope you enjoyed my video. I really enjoyed watching all of your videos. I watched some of Ildi, and I watched some of Crystal, and I watched some of Jessie, and they're all great fun to watch. I'm gonna watch some of I watched some of Mrs. Milky Bar, and I'm gonna watch some of the others. They're great fun to watch, see what everybody's working on. I've enjoyed them all. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy mine. And bye.